Yeah, and we'll get into game number 1. How did this become a trend, asking me to get all analytical and stuff?
You gotta use,
My brain?
No, yes, but you also need to use some fancy words like wave shoving. And,
shoving.
These are the key words to use, to sound smart.
Oh, man. I wish I could sound smart. It's a very tough thing for me.
Win condition. I think the win condition is...
the win
condition. Yeah, that's the one. But I would say this is not as unusual, this carry Mars. If you remember Dream League Season 26 Grand Finals Game 2, it was Satanic who played it, and he did go for the carry build, of course, him being the carry. So did go for Armlet, did go for Deso, BKB, Blink, and Satanic. It's in his name, so that's why he's buying the item. But yeah, it's a good way to deal with Eidolons. It is physical damage. They have quite high magic resistance, but these don't have that much armor to work with. And we can see Yatoro building... I'm really glad that he's back to Yatoro.
Yeah, I agree with that. Best name for him. But I like that he's got the auto buy ready to go. Getting those bracers ready. Get them shipped out as quickly as possible. RCY against Laurel. Void Spirit against Puck. We'll see how this matchup works out. This is the...
This was considered to be the counter for Puck matchup in quite some time. People even used it when Void Spirit wasn't good. Void Spirit has been on the rise. We've seen different... Like, this hero is fun to play, period. This is why this hero is popular again. We did buff him up, but also it's one of the heroes that you can look very fancy on the hero compared to some other mid laners. This hero is pretty fun to play, and also building into Aghanim Scepter. You can also go for Spirit Vessel build if you feel like it. Mage Slayer could also be good pickup relatively in some of these games, seeing that you're playing against Timber, against Puck, which does allow you to survive, allows you to reduce the damage output that they're dealing. But we'll see how they're going to be batched up. This is a very tough nut to crack. This is Team Spirit we're talking about. And Wildcard, even though they did qualify for TI, this is a bit of a stronger opponent to take down compared to Shopify Rebellion and lookalikes from the region.
And definitely a tougher opponent. The numbers will agree with you on the top of your screen. We'll see how it goes for EMSON speed up in this top lane as Collapse was in trouble for a split second. But Rue able to help out. We've kind of watched Rue grow into this top tier, I would say top 3, top 4, position 4 players in the entirety of Dota.
Yeah, this is what Team Spirit does. When they scout you out, they see the potential. When he first joined, he wasn't really popping off. These are some big shoes to fill. It's very difficult, so you're going to be making some more mistakes. But they're also a very, very good team/organization that is going to make you feel comfortable. Same thing did happen with Laurel earlier. And this team suddenly, again, is on the top. The way they play, the way they draft, there's always this Team Spirit magic evolving around them. How's Faye doing in this bottom lane? Usually Enigma is the lane dominator, but you can see the big difference. Especially once you get to level 3 on Mars, when you get that God's Rebuke extra damage from level 2. Critical strike is 200, bonus damage. It gets pretty difficult, so not sure if he wants to bail to the jungle relatively early on. Usually Enigma denies some of these creeps, puts the pressure onto enemy carry, and usually is paired up with the position 4s that do have stun. Tiny Tusk. CK is a bit of a newer one, where you have a Clone Chaos, which is where the target, where the stun splits, and it feels good to play, but I'm not sure if they're going to be getting the value out of this one.
We'll see how it ends up going. CK not most seen hero. But you see that Enigma has gotten back on your off-screen panel, and he's gone back into the side part of that jungle over there. Yemsun as well as speed. See if they can make anything happen in this top lane. Not going to be easy up against Collapse Timbersaw, of course.
Chen is making this lane pretty much difficult for both of them. Having mana burn creep allows you to play much more aggressive, but also in that lane, Chicken Fingers, has been used as a counter to Terrorblade, hexing his illusions or just getting the hex on top of him. It's mostly about the illusions, getting the extra gold.
It's
every 15 seconds.
not easy to deal with. Shadow Shaman has two of the best facets, in my opinion. Chicken Finger is really good. The Giga Ward also feels pretty strong.
This is what I want to see from every single hero in Dota. To have facets where you can actually choose and be like, this is it, instead of one facet being top tier and the other one's like, we're never seeing this in play, especially in professional Dota. RCY.
Illusory Orb, and actually assimilates into the right circle there. Oh, Bignum comes over. He's only level 2, but we'll pull in Miposhka.
He's in trouble.
Bignum went into this, pulled him in, and then took some damage there from Laurel, really playing on the edge of his life.
Try to bait them in with Remnant that was already out from RCY. Is RCY related to Gaimin Gladiators coach, CY?
I don't believe so. But I'm not.
That was not a real question.
I mean, it's a non-zero. It could be possible. They could be related.
Yeah, chances are small. Maybe if their dad was like Genghis Khan, then the chances of them being related would definitely be higher than like 25%.
I just couldn't give you a confident no. I don't know that for facts. But potentially, the knowledge is there. It's shared between the CYs. We'll see how this goes for a wild card in the top lane as they chase Rue.
Yeah. I could also see why you would think that they are related. Okay, back to the game.
You really crack yourself up over there. I got you laughing. I've got production laughing. You're a real riot over there. And taking a big breath after that big joke. Whew. Going for Miposhka. Bignum actually quite low, but maybe they could get first blood on this. Miposhka gets first blood before he gets traded by RCY. Got speed in the vicinity. RCY is level 6. Doesn't have a lot of mana to play with, though. He'll just not jump for Laurel with the help of Chen nearby.
Again, this type of a lineup from Wildcard could come online relatively fast, seeing that they do have auras from Chen, they do have auras from Enigma, and also you have TB, so you're never going to be lacking tower damage.
Right. Yatoro top of the net worth and the moment. He picks up those phase boots. Fade down here. Bignum not level 6 just yet. God's Rebuke and a 2-second stun, but
yeah, a lot of big
hitting him.
Numbers red seeing on the screen when Mars uses Rebuke on all of these summons. They try to play aggressive, but they really can't, and you can see he needs to keep those Eidolons away, otherwise he's just pretty much gonna one-shot him. And going for the same item build as we talked about that Satanic did. Armlet into Deso, Blink, BKB, these type of items. So he wants to be the real carry of this game.
Really putting up the big numbers. I like that, you're doing the names to word association over there, but maybe some of your humor as the game goes on will fade away and collapse into obscurity.
Okay.
There you go. You will rue the day that you've made so many jokes.
All right, do one with Miposhka, and I'm gonna be satisfied.
I got nothing. I'm not even gonna try. I'll think of one for game 2.
It's impossible. Miposhka, he could be the one pushing the tower with his golem. But back to the game, Rue.
RCY jumping in.
Oil.
And they'll get the kill on to Rue. They've got the Dream Coil on to 2. Yatoro comes in. He's got the arena. Wraps around on the Bignum, but the jump in, or the jump out from the Void Spirit gives RCY some distance. But the spear connects, and now he's Astral Step a little bit far enough away from Team Spirit. So he survives. They end up getting a trade. Not bad for Wildcard. Certainly keeping with it. And honestly, the game state for Wildcard's not looking too bad.
Also something to point out about Mars carry. There's something more to it with Victory Feast facet, because it does allow you to have extra damage. You restore 30% of your max HP. So this facet scales really well. You're allies also receive 50% of the buff when they're inside of the arena. An important thing about this is when you're going for the carry items, you do have explosive damage. You need to be able to kill the heroes, and you also have Timber who has explosive damage.
First
So
black
today,
hole.
if they get him inside of the black hole, they're going to be able to kill him. So far, so good. Wildcard, 1k gold lead.
They look pretty good. NA qualifier champions over here.
Might be the toughest region to play in. All right, let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay?
Me? I didn't say anything.
I know Tsunami is pretty big on NA region. Could be slightly biased, but he might be seeing something that others cannot see at the time.
I like what they're doing so far. Fade definitely farming quite well. 4,200 net worth. And getting a kill with that first black hole, very important. Kind of trying to just use it off cooldown. Make sure that you can lock down these heroes, especially before he picks up a potential blink at any point in this game. But right now, he's just got the drum Zern combo. RCY. Remember watching this guy in the DPC. We had a lot of high praise for him back a couple years ago.
We did. We definitely did. That's why he's here. So far, having a pretty good game. Involved in all 3 kills. Going straight away for Aghanim Scepter. Wants to be the guy. Because right now, they don't have much lockdown. The only lockdown they have is Remnant. Maybe a black hole. If you're getting stunned by CK as Puck, you should not be a professional E-athlete. That's for sure. So he needs to build into silence immediately. I talked about the different itemization, and he's playing aggressive one more time. Maybe trying to get something done. While the rest of the team Spirit, Laurel and Miposhka, making a move.
They're bottom, but nobody else is really here unless they dive into the jungle area to go for Fade, which they might be able to just drop the Dream Coil if they caught some vision onto this Enigma. It would be tough for Wildcard to make the rotation if they had started the fight on the side of Spirit initially, but instead, RCY, he shows up, immediately gets speared all the way back to the Tier 1 tower and connects.
You know what I've been thinking? This is something that you would say. Usually it's not that good of an idea, but tell me if you'd be down. This facet on Mars, when you get a kill inside of the arena, you get permanent damage. Like, you get permanent 5 damage, which would allow Mars to be played from different roles. This is something that Klinks did have at the time. I remember how pissed Crit was. I was as well when they removed that. When you were like trying to be active, trying to go for the kills as a position for Klinks, and then they removed that. I think Klinks is one of the heroes that got changed the most in terms of swapping the abilities. Maybe Arc Warden is up there. I never read Arc Warden, not until he becomes viable in pro scene, because it's always a wall of text. Same goes for Brewmaster. I always leave Brewmaster for the last one, because there's just so much to it.
Wasn't much to that death, though, for Bignum. Just the Chaotic Offering. Want to come in with a Dream Coil there, too. They'll drop the Serpent Wards for the Tier 1 tower. To go back to your question, would I agree that he should get 5 extra damage if he gets a kill within the arena with this facet, as well as heal? I like the idea. I'm always going to back you up on whatever idea you say, but that might be a little bit too strong. I don't know. Is it per kill of hero that dies in the arena, or does he have to get the last hit?
He has to get the last hit, because it would be way too much damage.
Okay. Might have to put...
This is something that Legion Commander does have on duel with other facet, but Legion Commander, like, I would maybe love this to be moved to Mars, but let's save this for later. Write it down, guys, and we'll make sure to add it for the next patch notes and wishes that we want to see. Right now,
Laro's voice, all chatting a lot. Couple of hearts, couple of watcher says, and all right, kill there on Naru. And with that, they're going to go for the Tier 1 tower top.
So far, very good moves. I also like this Spirit Vessel on Enigma. Enigma is a type of a hero that can build multiple items from the offlane, whether you want to, like, nowadays, in the past, I would say, last 2 years, you would go for drums into, like, pipe. There's a new build with the Crimson Guard, because there's a lot of physical damage that you want to block. kind of skipping the Blink BKB, which was always the staple for Enigma, but also seeing Spirit Vessel being buffed, because you now get to build it from Diadem, so you're getting good amount of stats as well. That's extra 10 stats, which is something that Enigma kind of wants to have. And then having Chen on your team, having multiple ways of building auras, plus Spirit Vessel is great against Timbersaw that we haven't seen much. Collapse still hasn't get... He still wasn't involved in any of the kills.
It's just been quiet. 133 CS, just doing his thing, being a
On top of the
Timbersaw,
network,
farming.
yeah.
Eventually he'll get involved, and might be when he gets that axe. It's not like it's been the most aggressive game from either team. It's only 7 kills in 14 minutes. We're averaging half a kill a minute. Nobody's really crossing the river all too much. There are some objectives taken, but other than that, I mean, it's been pretty quiet. Some Serpent Wards to get some towers. The objectives are being taken from Spirit, or for Spirit, I should say. And the network's even. Who does this benefit the most? Just having a quiet game where everybody's farming.
I think Spirit is going to try to play a bit more aggressive once Collapse finishes off his Aghanim Scepter. You have Shadow Shaman, you have minus armor coming up from Mars, you have Sustain from Warlock. So once they get those items, I could see them try to smoke up and try to grab a kill near Roshan Pit, turn it into Rosh. You also want to get probably Mars with Deso, Aghanim Scepter on Timber, Puck with the Blink Dagger. This is going to be their big timing that they're going to try to sync up and try to make stuff happen on the map. Because right now, this is safe lane Mars. He doesn't build into Blink Dagger early on. Timber had a bit of a quieter game. Puck as well. So far, Wildcard did manage to do a good job managing to dodge some of these fights, but also now Aghanim Scepter is finished on them, and this is the big timing for Wildcard. They definitely want to try to take a fight with it.
Jump in. They've got the silence. Aether Remnant, but not the damage. Black Hole
Doesn't time it.
is gonna be off the mark. Speed's dead. Dream Coil committed. They'll get the kill on Baposhka. They'll take at least the Warlock, but the arena comes down. And now, ooh, missing the spear.
Oh, Radon,
A bit
not
uncharacteristic there of Yatoro, and they'll throw out this stun. And they should be able to get the kill on Aru, but now, with the chicken fingers, does he survive one shot? Can he get out of this one? He's still alive. He got to the shackle, but Yatoro and Aru are dead.
Oh. Even with this spell casting, there was all collapses in, and seems like collapses out.
Oh boy.
It looked hype for a second. Can't really blame him for trying to go for this type of a play. And this is the build that we talked about in Enigma, allowing him to survive, having all of these extra stats, drums, having Spirit Vessel, 10 extra stats coming out from that, so that's extra 220 HP, plus Reaper's Lash. You saw how effective it was in the fight. This is something that anybody who has summons, you're dealing the extra damage, the Eidolons do split. But also, the way this fight started, Void Spirit jumps in, they don't get the double silence onto Puck, the Black Hole misses, doesn't connect onto anything, and still, they manage to win a fight.
Now they've put themselves in a decent chunk of a lead with some decent farming from all their heroes. Eventually, CK scales. He's going for an armlet, and he's going for a Blink Dagger. You get enough time, and you're going to have that fourth core kind of joining into the fray with the sustain that comes from having a Chen in the game.
There are two ways to build position for CK pretty much. One is to go for mana boots, and then you pick up Lens, Glimmer Cape, these items, if it's a good game for it. The other one is 9 class when he wants to scale. So you pick up Armlet, and then your illusions also are dealing damage. Rue,
Vessel on him.
Dead here. And with the shard as well. Get Boglets.
Oh.
A nice try. Yeah. This is the new thing in Dota. RCY, I'll hold that thought. Double silent this time. It's not going to miss.
Oh, and the stun is off the mark. And Laurel, he's going to try and leave and will be free to do so.
This is a big rune for Puck. Usually Illusion Rune, not the most valuable rune, but it does allow you to dispel the silence from Void Spirit.
He's got the silence. They have the damage. They do.
But they got the combo. They got the stun and silence at the same time.
Chaotic Offering also gets expended for that non-save. A little surprising here from Spirit with the way the first 18 minutes of this game have gone. Wonder if Wildcard can continue to push, continue to close this out. but we'll see. Still dealing with the fact that you've got a Timbersaw at the top of the net worth.
The reason why Team Spirit might look a little bit sloppy in this one, we haven't seen them much. We don't know what Team Spirit have been up to. In the last tournament that they played was Blast Slam number 3, which was 45 days ago almost, 40 days ago.
Some time. Also, I realize that this isn't Laurel chatting or anything like that.
No.
He's using the heart ping. I just have not used that before. The new
No, it's a like I don't want to use that. Like I might use the old chat instead. Get some toxicity in.
Black hole on this
But
arena.
hearts, no. And another one.
Eidolons with the damage. Yatoro's in trouble. The Dream Coil is used. The Eidolons, oh, they
He's
can't get the
toggling.
kill. He toggled it out, and they get the kill on a fade, and that is Black Hole used for nothing.
Nicely done. That's going to be his Deso. So Timbersaw does have Aghanim Scepter, but he's silenced once, twice. Collapse. Gets it off.
Serpent Ward's down on the ground. They've got the shackles onto RCY, but he's able to escape. Yamsun gets the kill on Aru. Timber Chain still searching Illusory Orb. Sunder used to put RCY back towards full health.
Collapse is very tanky. They are very limited on the amount of stuns that they do have. Enigma did die in that fight. Maybe with just a Spirit Vessel and one Malefice, it would be enough to grab the kill. But also Team Spirit did a good job falling onto the high ground, falling back to the high ground, fighting near the Serpent Wards. And now they are going to get Tormentor.
Classic. Warlock gets shard with 0 levels in the upheaval.
Still, you get some benefits from it.
Yeah.
Increases the power of all imps. So it does work on your Fatal Bonds.
This is the 21-minute mark where they might be able to swipe a shrine with a good fight, but they're actually going north towards Laurel. I would say it might be unfortunate if Collapse comes in, because he is in the area. Dream Coil used on a 1. They've got the stun. They should be able to get this kill on Laurel. They will. RCY's on a mega kill streak. They actually never got the benefits coming in from this Timbersaw, but now the chaotic offering into the arena. The Gods Rebuke. The damage is there to get the kill on Big Numb, and now they have the shackle. RCY dead too, and that is a big amount of gold for Yatoro.
Immediately TPs to the bottom lane. Well, I talked about maybe changing the facet to give him extra bit of a damage. That's what he could do with Deso.
Yeah, now he's got 4 charges on the Deso, so he gets what you wanted with the facet with the item. Fade here with the Spirit Vessel and the Eidolons. Maposhka, he looks dead on his screen already, and he is.
It's a lot of Eidolons with Shard.
Back and forth we go, but the net worth evens out, and you do have Terrorblade top of the net worth for the side of Wildcard now. Toro now has the Blink Dagger to be more impactful with the Blink Arenas that don't give him damage, but do give him heal if he gets a kill.
It does give him damage with this facet anyway when they get a kill, so that's something. I just want to see the bigger numbers.
Damage.
Yeah, no perma damage, but it's insane amount of heal. 30% of your max HP, because you're losing some of the HP with your armlet. But it's very important that you do have heroes who can kill the heroes quickly in the arena. You have Timbersaw, you have Puck, they have a bit of an explosive damage. Landing 2 spells plus a spear. God's Rebuke should be enough pretty much to kill everybody. Might even be able to kill Terrorblade at that point, because I can see that he's building into Scotty, so wants to have more stats, wants to have healing reduction, great against Mars, great against Timber.
Right.
Wants to have survivability to make sure that he's going to get the Sunder off in a fight.
Fade going for that BKB. Let's have that Blink Dagger. We'll see if they can land a big black hole. But it's going to be tough. There's definitely things to counteract this now, especially available in the game for the side of Team Spirit. And, you know, we've seen Collapse. We already talked about this earlier, but he's got so much farm, but he's still just 1-1-1. 1 kill, 1 death, 1 assist. Very even
And he's pretty big. This Aghanim Scepter, if they don't burst him straight away, if he gets it off, it'll be a massive issue. Eventually, like, he's scaling really well right now, about to finish off his Shiva's Guard. I assume next item is going to be BKB just to have extra bit of a protection. But maybe he thinks it's not enough. I'm just thinking, oh, Spear doesn't connect, but doesn't seem it matters. Should still be able to get the kill.
Was able to get the mech off, but it didn't matter with nobody on the side of Wildcard in the area for him. Still 13-8 and a 3,000 net worth lead. CK going Blink, Orchid. That's a lot of gold away.
It is. It definitely is. For now, he's keeping Greedy as his enchantment. So it's not going to be farming too much. You can still use Phantasm to get some extra farm, but thinking that this game is going to slow down a little bit. Team Spirit, again, lost a little bit of a gold in the last couple of minutes. 3k gold lead for Wildcard.
When Yamsun gets this BKB, these fights are going to get a little bit dangerous for Team Spirit.
Yeah, they have no abilities other than Warlock to cancel the Black Hole. So if they can maybe get the jump with CK, with Void Spirit in the back lines, and then go for the big Black Hole, you also, usually you're playing against Mars. He goes for the other facet, the Bloodsport facet, so you don't see inside of the arena. This time you're going to be seeing what's happening outside of the arena as well, and inside, so that makes the team fight much easier for them.
They're on the run. Collapse, Rue. Ooh, Fade looking to position into a black hole, but not able to be quick enough on that one. But they still have the Aether Remnant, and now they'll commit the black hole. It's on a Collapse. They got the kill on Aru. They didn't need it immediately, and they take out Miposhka. So 3 heroes are dead on the side of Spirit. A very good fight again from Wildcard.
Been very impressed with Wildcard, what they're doing. There were some couple of misspells in that mid lane, but other than that, they're playing this game pretty damn well. And now, not afraid to use the black hole on a solo target. Sports are going to respawn in 15 seconds, but Timber is gone for a really long time. Even with amplified damage on Puck, they still can't take this fight.
No,
maybe if the two supports were alive right now, seems like Spirit's still thinking about it. Larl is going to scout things out.
Arena, Fade, and a God. Serpent Ward's even committed here. Yatoro's going to be a little bit out of position, but they've got the Fatal Bonds as well as the Chaotic Offering. Fade's still alive, at least for now.
Sunder, Yamsun
with
again.
The Aegis. So he used that Sunder and then dies. Oh, I don't know if this is going to work out, but they need to get something more than just Yatoro, it feels like. Give it up that Aegis immediately.
Okay, this is the second time he uses Sunder. Last time he did save RCY in the bottom lane. Saved Enigma for a second, but still did die. I want to see the damage from Yatoro. Immediately using Solar Crest on him with Armlet. Usually you don't see Mars dealing that much right-click damage, but with the Solar Crest, extra attack speed from Armlet, he's hitting pretty hard, sitting at almost 5,000 damage in the previous fight.
Do you think overall that's worth it, the kill on a Yatoro for the Aegis and Fade?
Immediately losing the Aegis in a situation like this definitely benefits Spirit, where they want to slow things down. They have another entry to the fight to kill Terrorblade, who's going into a BKB now. Not many abilities that go through debuff immunity, unless they can maybe lock him down with Shadow Shaman first.
Pavis for the Chen. Shrine does activate in a moment. Yatoro might walk up on this, but instead, it looks like Bignum's at least going to push forward, and nobody's here yet for him. And I think that Yatoro, yeah, they've got the scan. They know it's there. He'll blink. God's Rebuke. They've got the spear, but now Fade is in. They hit the silence with the BKB. They've got the arena around on 3.
He gets the kill. He's going to heal up a lot.
Yatoro! Oh, he gets the kill, and now they've got themselves a Shackle. It's going to be on the RCY, and they've got themselves a second. Everybody rotating here for the side of Team Spirit to get those 2 kills.
I would say this is such an underrated facet for Mars. Even if you're playing it from the off lane, like a lot of the times you want to see the want to go for the other one, especially if they have any kind of saves playing against Oracle, Shadow Demons, these type of heroes. So you do not want to share vision, but this facet allows you to heal up and maybe get another round of spells. You could see that they're playing around him, playing around the Yatoro, using the heal on him, using the Solar Crest immediately, making sure that he's dealing the damage. And we talked about them having very explosive damage when Collapse goes in, when Puck goes in. They're definitely going to be grabbing some of the kills in the arena. That's why losing that Aegis wasn't that big of a deal for Team Spirit, sacrificing Yatoro to get the Aegis immediately, which does allow them to go for plays like this.
Another set of Serpent Wards placed down to try and push a tower, but these illusions will garner some gold for the Terrorblade and keep the tower safe. Roche is a long ways out with it being used immediately. His Terrorblade's 4-0-5. But I'm kind of waiting for that big fight from a Wildcard with the usage of the next Metamorphosis.
And using Thunder on enemies instead of trying to save his own teammates this time around. Maybe use it on Timbersaw. This is one of the best tools in the game to kill Timbersaw with.
That is true. I haven't quite seen them kind of get this big fight, but they are going to try and look for an opening. See, they won't find anything. Spirit just not really in the area. Spirit, they've actually smoked themselves. Who can they find? Because they're kind of all mushed up in the top left corner of the map. And if they catch them on a timing here, this could be really
pretty
bad.
Big. Fade, he's down to 700 HP. We'll use Spirit Vessel.
They've got
That's
the
gonna heal
as
him
well.
up. They got the heal from Tormy, heal from Tranquil Boots. Collapse, he's in. Shiva's Guard, ready.
He's very in, but he's very silent. And now the blink in with the arena that's going to come through. They've got the BKB, but Fade's going to try and set up for the Black Hole. That's going to be out of 3 of these heroes. The Chaotic Offering's down, though. They'll look to at least get Rue.
Can't get the Sunder off.
Looks for a Sunder, but it's not on a high target, but he's still alive. Fade, Yatoro, they both drop, but Yamsun is dead. Laurel dies, and it's a 3-for-2 at the moment, but they'll find Maposhka. Triple kill there. Collapse runs away with a double kill.
He's in.
Even thinking about going after RCY. Only RCY and the Chen are alive. But can RCY turn this around? He's actually thinking about going in around these trees. That is a dangerous proposition, but the shockwave from a distance for the kill. All right, speed. That's a full team wipe for the side of Wildcard in a fight that initially didn't look so great. There was the arena, then the Black Hole, but that was stopped by Maposhka with a good Chaotic Offering.
It was. That's what he did. He pretty much has one job. Wait for that Black Hole to go off and then try to cancel it. But also, Terrorblade, he was struggling to find the target that he could use Sunder on. Both of them did use BKB, Timbersaw, and Mars, so he needed to use it on something. In the end, I believe he used it on Mars and didn't heal for much. It feels like they were kind of expecting them to be there after seeing that they killed the Tormentor. But the no Shiva's Guard immediately popped to scout things out, and Yamsun did heal for like 600-700 with that Sunder. Nothing too crazy. Maybe this time around, he could have gotten in on RCY again, try to use it a bit more defensively. Still be able to grab the kills, and RCY didn't need to go in. First death off TB in this game, but still, Wildcard Gaming managing to get a full team wipe.
Very impressive here, and that was almost a dangerous move from RCY with a Dissimulate trying to jump in, and it's right by the trees. Almost gave Collapse a turnaround opportunity. But RCY, this is one of his best heroes, and he really knows how to play on the edge of success. Meanwhile, Fade,
it's so much physical damage. Now he has Basher as well. This is going to be a little bit of extra control. Did decide to skip Satanic, at least for now, seeing that there is Scotty, there is Spirit Vessel, so it doesn't feel like he's going to be getting that much value out of it. Instead, wants to have something against Enigma and the Black Hole, because it still works with the God's Rebuke, so you might be able to get, if Miposhka is getting initiated on, to have something to stop the Black Hole if you're out of it.
Laurel continuing to heart ping heroes now. First Terrorblade, then Void Spirit. Serpent Warriors and the rest of the team are going to combine to get this kill on the tier 2 tower in the top lane. Opening up the outpost. But things looking good for Wildcard and Roche, potentially up in 35 seconds. If they can win another fight, that could cause them to get an Aegis and then be in that final phase of potentially taking game number 1. But it's going to be pretty close. They had a significant net worth lead, but Spirit are doing a good job farming around the map and just pulling it down without even taking these fights.
I like what Yamsen's doing, going for Satanic instead. He wanted to have extra bit of a damage, but it does feel if he gets Satanic, couple of right clicks off in a fight, it will allow him to get to even like better Sunders. So having more tankiness rather than damage, you saw that he almost died from 100 to 0 when they focused him with Puck, with Mars Arena, and with Timbersaw. Even though there is Chen heal, there is mech available, but this could also be a very good... The tanky you are on TB, it's also the better setup for your Enigma to land the black hole.
Laurel. BKB on cooldown.
Testing it out, it does work.
Worked for 8 seconds. Octarine Core picked up now for Collapse. Not sitting top of the net worth and not within a decent chunk of this terrible. He's 3,000 gold behind him now, and TV's starting to really up the farm. Has the Satanic, has the Scotty going into the Daedalus. Terrorblade's feeling good. That's for sure. RCY in again, and the silence, the damage, and a kill here once more onto the Shadow Shaman. This is now lining up with the spawn of Roche. Not as easy this time around for Wildcard. 1 kill is not exactly the make or break, but they're going to try for more. And they've got Miposhka, so now no Chaotic Offering, and that's the big disruptor in this fight that keeps Fade from being as confident with the black hole.
A little surprised they didn't go into Roche Pit immediately. It could have spawned, and now Yamsen's going to be the one, but the rest of the team did TP out to the other side of the map, trying to maybe punish Laurel if he goes for an extra wave. But this is going to take a while. I kind of missed the opportunity to punish them immediately, take that Roshan, seeing that both of the supports did die.
Now they kind of have to reset and do that again. They may not get that opportunity so easily once more. They do smoke. Roche did roar, but that didn't really draw full attention from Spirit to come over towards the pit. Roche roared, and Spirit just kind of held their ground. They just continued to farm, but they will find Laurel. They need this silence to land it, and now he's dead for 80 seconds, no buyback. That's certainly an opportunity for Wildcard.
Seeing that they killed him once, killed him twice, and seeing the items that he does have, Aghanim, Scepter, Parasma, these are the 2 items that he did finish, means that he definitely doesn't have buyback at this point of the game. RCY is having a blast of a game, 8, 2, and 10.
RCY really knows how to play these spirits. Like I said, with the Void Spirit, Ember Spirit's definitely one of those heroes for him you need to be careful for, because he'll have a game like this and do it to anybody, honestly. But now they've got this Aegis in the hands of Terrorblade. And 5 minutes to kind of pressure their will onto Spirit.
You did mention that Bignum, he had some big items in his quick buy, and he's gotten them pretty quickly, I would say, thanks to these GPM enchantments that he did pick up as a tier 3 neutral item, and as well as tier 4. So having extra 100 GPM, farming those illusions.
Shackle in an arena, but they've got the Hand of God, the Black Hole. Miposhka's dead, and they have Beta Yatoro in here, and they are going to get this kill. A triple kill for Bignum. This CK, he is hitting hard.
Whew, and he's gonna start to scale. This is pretty much everybody scaling except Chen. Chen is not like the hero that's gonna scale in terms of his damage output, but there's a new item on Chen if the game goes late that you can buy Aghanim Scepter, give everybody BKB, which feels really nice. But also seeing the opportunity, killing them, killing Miposhka immediately, and knowing that you can use the Black Hole freely.
Collapse? Forced to BKB. The vessel on him, all of a sudden, he was getting pretty low. A little nervous there, but he doesn't have his BKB. Now to try and defend this. Looking like today might be a new day for NA. Don't you say?
Oh, this is it. If there's a team that can't stop Team Spirit from getting their third TI, it's definitely Wildcard Gaming.
Sometimes in the group, you just need a wild card. BKB, Laurel jumps in, and they've hexed up Bignum for a moment. But now on the bottom side of the fight, they get the kill on Rue. RCY in again, and now has the ability to just leave, but they've got themselves the mid set. They're going to go for the bottom set as well.
Way too many illusions. CK illusions, TP.
Laurel's dead once more.
No buy.
Silence, RCY jumping in on a Collapse who doesn't have a BKB. RCY pops his, and Collapse is dead. He's going to be forced to buy back. If they stay in this space, he's 90 seconds gone.
They have all the auras. Look at Chen. Drums, Solar Crest, Vlad's Guardian Greaves, plus all of the creeps that he does have. And then you have Enigma with the drums as well. And it seems like this game is about to end. They have one more fight, 4v5, when Timber buys back.
They'll go and get this kill on his speed, and that'll give him that extra bit of damage with the Victory Feast. But now he'll go after Fade with the pull-in from Bignum. Bignum now going to be hit with the Abyssal Blade. The jump in, the Astral Step. They'll go for Yatoro. He's silenced up, and he is not going to live much longer. Dev for 95 has buyback, forced to use it. Collapse pops his BKB. Looks over at Bignum, who avoids the Timber Chain.
Toggling.
Throws the stun, but the jump over from Yatoro will get the kill to this Chaos Knight. But Collapse, he is
Black
in
hole
trouble.
at 15.
He is looking like he is going to die here, but then assimilate the jump over. He's still alive, with the Chakram coming back to him. RCY ends up dead to Collapse, but RCY gets the kill, forces the buyback, and now Yatoro, he did buy back, but he's got to live. They don't have Black Hole just yet, but now, finally, it's off cooldown.
They're ready to go. Everybody's buying back. There's no buyback available on two of the supports, though. So buyback on Void Spirit. Yamson, meta is ready. Aegis, they're planting the banner. They want to have mega creeps at least. Miposhka, full wraparound. That's the only way. Find this Enigma.
Find Fade. Can they find him? Black Hole committed onto Yatoro. It's going to pull in Laurel. He's locked up. Oh, Yatoro's dead. And now Laurel going to try and survive, but this is looking oh so bad for Spirit and oh so great for Wildcard. They'll get the kill. GG is called. They didn't need a rebellion. They needed a Wildcard to make sure they can get this win.
Oh man, what a performance. What an upset in this game number 1. Wildcard Gaming playing it really, really well. Mars Carry didn't really...
Thank you very much, Tsunami. As we come into game number 2, Wildcard have the lead at the moment. If you're just joining us, they won game number 1 in a pretty convincing fashion, honestly. But game number 2 doesn't seem like it'll be as much of a walk in the park. As every game for Wildcard, you know, they're trying to put something together, especially against a team like Spirit that is going to be maybe a little bit tough for them.
Yeah, definitely will. We see a lot of counterpicking in both of these drafts. There is Jakiro as a response to Shadow Demon, which has been, this is the old school counter to Shadow Demon. You try to save somebody, they drop down the Ice Bat, maybe even Macropyre into Ice Bat. So getting out of the defensive disruption is not, like, you're not going to be getting the full value out of it. And also Ricky panel did figure it out. What's he gonna do, because it's very difficult to play Shadow Demon. There's a ways around it, as Tsunami said, where you can disrupt Axe before he gets a BKB. But also a little surprised that they decided to pick Dawnbreaker as well into Ricky. Maybe they're valuing more the power of Dawnbreaker in the lane against Templar Assassin, because it's the easy way to deal with the refraction because of her hammer, but also Ricky's Shard. This is going to be them jumping the targets with Axe, with the call, and then with the Cloud, with the upgraded Cloud, you cannot target your allies inside of it, so you can't click Dawnbreaker ulti. So that's also going to be a bit of a downside to it.
Have to see how it goes. RCY, definitely known for his Pango play, but is it going to be enough here to beat Spirit? Is it going to be enough to defeat Laurel 2 games in a row? Laurel struggled in game number 1, as RCY did really well with that Void Spirit to make sure that they were getting the combos off with the Silence, the Aether Remnants, and that follow-up stun that they were getting from Bignum on the CK. This time around, Bignum, he's on a Shadow Demon, which doesn't exactly scale the same way that CK did.
Definitely doesn't. I think he's going to be more focused on making some of the stacks in the triangle for his Sven. I think Sven's also not going to have that good of a time. He's not a strong laner by any means. This hero wants to get the XP, go to the jungle, and you're playing against a very strong offlaner in Axe who you're not going to be killing this guy. You're going to get constantly harassed. We've seen this time and time again when Axe is laning with a relatively strong partner, which Riki can definitely be with double Blink Strike, with Blood Grenade, constantly harassing you with Battle Hunger. You're a melee hero, so you don't get too close because of the extra damage that you're taking from counter Helix. So definitely a lane that Wildcard will lose and Sven will need to recover, but this is one of the best heroes in the game to recover in the jungle to start with.
Trying not to say it, but Collapse has the Trail of the Burning Doom. I have to say something.
Gotta get it out of the system.
I gotta get it out of the system, but it is a beautiful glitched cosmetic. Yeah, it looks pretty cool, especially with the set that he's got going on. So he's not burning from anything, just for you guys who may think that maybe somehow, some way he's burning and taking damage. But no, that is all, well, not intended, but exists. Yamsun on this Sven. Sven, definitely one of those heroes that if he can get his hands around you with that God Strength and an Echo Saber in his inventory, he can really put the hurt on, especially to somebody like the Jakiro or maybe even the Riki if he's got him locked down.
Carry Sven is pretty similar to Carry Tiny. These are the heroes that you might get the kill in the lane early on, but you want to go to the jungle, continue to farm up, and then show up with 2.5, 3 items. This is going to be your big timing. Tiny, pretty much the same thing. You get Echo Saber, you get your Shard, then you start to farm up your Shadow Blade. And this is the lane where they're going to try to play a little bit more aggressive.
Ooh, 3 stacks?
That was also level 2. If they're level 3, if Fate has another point in Celestial Hammer, having a bigger range on it, I think they might be able to get the kill. But keeping him low as well is gotta do the trick. Next time he gets close, if they have enough mana for the combo, they will definitely go for it. At this point of time, Jakiro doesn't have Ice Pad, so he can't stop Fate from getting the Starbreaker off. Might get it at level 3 just for that.
One of the issues, though, is Bignum doesn't exactly have a lot of mana to work with either. They did use that Blood Grenade, but Yatoro has to be careful about stepping up. He is now level 3, but Bignum leaves the lane, and that'll leave TA just to see the Celestial Hammer get thrown. Nothing too out of the ordinary at the moment, but RCY, he is getting chased for a second over mid. Rue made the rotation, and so did Bignum. And they're going to try and protect that Water Rune and can do so with the Disruption. Rue, get hit by that Swashbuckle, but he's got a Lotus. There's not anything really to worry about.
It is an annoying lane for Pango. He's doing overall better than most of the Pangos would do, I would say. RCY showing the strength of his laning phase. It gets pretty obnoxious, especially if Queen of Pain puts a 3rd point in Dagger, and she did. Laurel keeping 1 point just in case he needs a blink. Maybe he puts a 2nd point in Scream of Pain if he finds the opportunity, if Pango's close enough.
See if that opportunity arises, if maybe he gets it as another support comes over for the side of Team Spirit. But currently, Miposhka, he was sitting in kind of babysitting Yatoro as he's now got that Ice Path he picked up at level 3. Maybe to make sure that that Starbreaker doesn't land onto this Templar Assassin speed. He's going for some of these stacks while Rue is taking out some vision. But trying to make some stacks, potentially have some fallback here. But Collapse, if they're not too careful about these stacks, he can kind of swipe in here and take whatever they've stacked up together, which really right now isn't exactly much. need to be careful about what you're going to allow to be given up, as it's a game where Yamsun is kind of backed off the lane a bit. You can see Collapse. He's under the tier 1 tower. Miposhka nearby. He's got Ice Path ready to go. So dual breath and the call. Yamsun in trouble, has the war cry. Ice Path lands onto 2. The disruption is there. It's onto the axe though, and that means Yamsun's going to drop for first blood. They don't really have the best answer. They'll throw Rue back onto the tower, who will take a couple of tower shots. Collapse ends up dying to Bignum, and maybe he could get another here on Rue. But Miposhka chases after Speed, who has 5 charges in that stick.
Miposhka's tanky. Fairy Fire, Healing Lotus, has Tango up and running.
Maybe they can make something happen, especially with the return of Yamsun. Stormhammer used, and Miposhka is going to drop here to Speed.
Overall, not too bad of a trade. Bignum is what made the difference there. Dealing good amount of damage, 1,000 damage coming out from Shadow Demon 6 minutes into the game. If he had more mana, this fight could have been even much different. RCY needs to be careful, like, especially when Queen of Pain gets to level 6, you can definitely get bursted. Also, something to point out, in this matchup, I've seen Pangos also go for the other facet, the double jump facet, so that you have extra bit of a shield, extra bit of a tankiness in this one. But he opted to go for more, for an overall better game, because it gives you a better laning stage, but Thunderbolt is much easier to maneuver, gives you that extra speed, the turn as well, and Laurel, pretty happy how things are going for him.
Yeah, much happier this game than last game, but they've got the disruption. They'll think about the Rolling Thunder. They've also got the Solar Guardian, but popping that Illusion Rune still, they've got themselves the Rolling Thunder long enough to get the kill on Alaro, and that's really well done by RCY. Bignum's here to try and help out. RCY has Swashbuckle, so he should be A-okay. But the combination is there again in Wildcard once more. Their early game looking pretty decent.
It definitely does. They use 2 big ultis to get a kill, but you definitely want to slow him down. And most importantly, your Sven is recovering. Even with that one death, he's still going to have a pretty good time. He's actually the most farm hero in the game at the moment.
Always a good thing to have your carry be the top net worth guy. Wants that Echo Saber, wants that BKB.
Yeah, there's not much deviation from Sven's build, at least first 4 items. You kind of always want to have Mask of Madness, Echo Saber, that's the maximum damage output that you can get a Blink Dagger, get a BKB, and then you need to start thinking about getting some extra items.
Under the tower, Sonic Wave, but Glimpse used, and now really not much doing for Wildcard. Kind of an easy kill to get. RCY, there weren't many places for him to go.
Miposhka also placed a deep vision between tier 1 and tier 2 tower in the mid lane, which is definitely, like, this is not something you expect 8 minutes into the game. A lot of the times this observer ward's placed slightly more to the south, I would say. Let's see Speed, he has 1 sentry available, but this is also pretty big.
Oh boy.
And trying to steal the stacks.
But they've got Fade and a good Ice Path, but here comes this Pangolier. They've got Rolling Thunder, but can they get the kill on Yatoro, who got the Refraction back
isolated
off? The question is, does it matter? They've got Queen of Pain off to the side looking for an entry point, but doesn't find one. And Yatoro dies to RCY, putting the hurt on again. They've got some stacks now that they know they have to take.
They have to take them straight away. Usually the big stack, the big camp is reserved for the mid laner, maybe an off laner, depending which heroes we're talking about, or how much farm they're getting out of the lane. Ancients usually are for Sven.
Yeah. But they need to be able to hold on to them, and that's the real big question.
Because they definitely do have heroes who can go in, bring in the numbers, and try to steal some of those stacks. Bignum is actually going to get a D-ward there immediately. Nicely done.
Yeah, wear that word. And taking away that vision, almost putting him at level 6. Miposhka's close to it too. He's got one of your favorite newer neutrals.
Tier 1.
The Kobold Cup.
Yep.
Sips on that cup for some speed.
Wildcard, they're not going to be picking that item because they already have speed on their team, so we'll be opting to go for different items. Sister Shroud, that's the item that you want to have. This is basically the old neutral item. Gossamer Cape, which did allow you to dodge some of these attacks. Very good against Templar Assassin. Very good against Sven as well in this game. Let's see how many we're going to have.
It's also something I know what it is. I know what a Shroud is. I didn't know what a Gossamer was.
I know what Sister is.
Fair enough.
We know the one half I know, the other one you do. Combining the big brain. Power, smoke from Wildcard. Trying to make something happen. Try to find something in the bottom lane, but seems like they have a pretty good idea. Yatoro already bailed deeper into the jungle.
Yeah, he wants this Desolator. He's far away from it, but needs to find himself some open space, getting some of these stacks. There's your guy.
In the mid lane, but that's not important. Cobalt creeps are more important. I definitely agree with that one. The one with the spear is also the funny-looking one.
Big Gnome dying to Laurel, who didn't even need that Sonic Wave. Still has it available, but the TP's come through, and now Fade. He shows himself, but they've got the ulti of the Static Storm, but they need some extra assistance. He just throws down the Static Storm, and nobody else is there. There's a Rolling Thunder used, and that was over towards bottom. Okay. He's almost got this Diffusal Blade. That'd be nice to have.
Wildcard, they've been stacking a lot. And speaking of Diffusal Blade, one very close on Pango, and I also see that Rue wants to pick up one of his own. So he wants to scale, making sure that things are going correctly instead of going for Road of Atos or just rushing Shard. We'll see how things are going to develop, but if you want to scale, you definitely want to pick up that Diffusal Blade immediately. Didn't die. Didn't get too many kills, 3 assists. Pretty much involved in every single kill, but overall, maybe if you'll get a kill or two, get a couple of extra bounty runes, this is where you can start scaling as Ricky, or if you're given a lane, which Team Spirit is doing at the moment.
Fade, he is in that macro pyre, but
he's
jumping out and he dies because that was only off to the side. Laurel gets the kill and RCY now needs to run. Swashbuckle to the right, but he is very dead. Laurel getting yet another.
They're gonna need to play 4v5 until Sven feels comfortable to join these fights. You're also playing into 2 very good counters to Sven. You're playing into Queen of Pain, who can push you with the Sonic Wave. You're playing into Axe, who builds into Blade Bell, who's also very close to his Blink Dagger. Big Gnome right now, Spirit, they do not want to let go. They want to use this opportunity to get some extra kills.
Storm, but Ice Path immediately, it's stopping any damage from Yamsun, who now finally has that Storm Hammer, whoop, and the God Strength. Oh, he'll start to hurt himself into the Blade Mail, Battle Hunger, but Fade, can they find Collapse to lock him down? He might actually be baiting them towards the rest of his team, and that's exactly what he's doing. And Fade bit hook, line, and sinker. I mean, they have him all the way out and alone.
This could have been a disastrous fight. If Yamsun didn't join, he managed to get a double kill out of that one. That was nicely done. Usually Svens, they don't join.
Oh, they're coming back in.
Into the game, Niposhka, they're invading, trying to make something happen. There is a deep observer ward on their high ground.
Laurel wants in too. Yamsun's so greedy to farm this, knowing that Niposhka and Collapse are right there. And this deep vision from the side of Spirit sees everything.
Rue is going to steal his XP rune on this side. Oh.
Dusted.
He's stuck.
Where do you go? Yamsun's dead to Collapse. Oh, this is falling apart for a Wildcard. Rue will end up dead, but they got the Sven.
That's why we said it's not an easy matchup for him. Playing into BKB Piercing Tools, playing into Templar Assassin as well. Unless you're getting focused by other heroes, you're not going to be dealing damage to Templar Assassin. We're talking about straight up 1v1 in carry situation, where you get the Stormhammer, you get the double hit, maybe a hit afterwards with the Mask of Madness, but this also allows Templar Assassin to blink out. She's building into Hurricane Pike, eventually will get it. And And look at what Collapse did buy. He's like, I need mana. This is something that Axe does struggle with. So going for Soul Ring. Trying to get that extra bit of a mana. It's also a good amount of strength that he gets. 2 armor, strength, exactly what Axe kind of needs, especially at the early levels.
Have that extra mana. He's going into the Shard. Meanwhile, by the way, Fade, he did take the opponent's Shrine of Wisdom. Ooh! Ice Path. It's there. And Fade will die to the Culling Blade of Collapse.
Larl, he really likes to use these heart pings.
Heart pings every 2 seconds. He is not really stopped. And they have a 5,000 net worth lead. You know, with Sven's God Strength, the comeback is possible for a big fight. But look at where RCY and Fade are in terms of net worth.
Yeah, Fade's not having a great time. Things are not going to be easier for them. Once they get the jump, just pairing up Templar Assassin with Axe or Queen of Pain with Axe, you do have a kill threat pretty much on every single hero. And now they will use this opportunity, amplify damage to get Roshan, give them even more control of the map, get Yatoro involved with this Desolator.
Looking like a clean line towards victory right now for Spirit if Wildcard don't change their fortunes. And it starts with maybe a pickoff here on Collapse, something where Yamsun is...
Rue's scouting 4 of them.
Yeah, I mean, they dust, but Rue doesn't even get caught by it. He's actually on the edge, thinking about jumping back in, and they've got this Observer Ward in the lane, and it sees them all retreat anyway. So he's scouting, but at the same time, they had that obs there, and it saw all of them.
And they had the trap as well. Vision game definitely in favor of Spirit. It needs to be Sven. They pretty much have the next fight, and if they lose that fight, the game is gonna crumble for Wildcard. It needs to be Sven dealing damage, but he also doesn't have BKB playing into double blade mail. Not gonna be an easy task for him, because if they get those blade mails off, he can't hit the targets. He's just gonna kill himself.
Practically almost did in the last fight when he was hitting on
Only
the
Axe. Yeah.
Upgraded Searing Signet for Dawnbreaker with that Unleashed Searing Signet, which is quite nice. But now they're coming over. They'll have Fade in a very bad way. Blink Call, Macropyre. The Static Storm gets committed, but Fade is still gonna be in a lot of trouble. They've got the Disruption, the Sonic Wave committed. They get the kill in a Rue. They'll at least get that. But the trade is just not equal exchange.
Definitely not. And the rest of the team continues to farm up. Yatoro in the top lane, still yet to be involved with his freshly bought Deso. They don't have that much control. Even with the Blink Dagger on Pango, it does feel like Team Spirit is in full control of this game. Where they are the ones making the moves, holding the Aegis. Map is relatively small. Wildcard, they only managed to kill 1 tower in the mid lane, but speaking of towers, it does seem like they're gonna lose another tower in this top lane. Unless they use the glyph, and they do.
They've got the glyph, but they still have a Jakiro in the game who can chip away at this tower.
Yeah, he can definitely spit on that thing.
Thinking about the Rolling Thunder. Fainted it for a second. They've actually caught Bignum in the bottom lane. Collapse now dominating. And they've brought this up to a 10K lead 20 minutes into the game. What is there to do for Wildcard? Again, it all relies on Sven having a really good fight, but they just don't have the openings.
They want Sven to get his BKB online. He can disassemble Echo Saber, so he is 800 gold away from BKB recipe, but then again, you are lacking some of that double hit damage from Echo Saber. If you're gonna be taking the fight, trying to smoke up, get something done, but you're also fighting into Aegis, which is still 2 minutes in the hands of Templar Assassin.
Feels like forever. While they've got this Aegis, they'll go for this Tormentor. Pick up a shard now from Oposhka, making the Jakiro that much stronger. And again, Wildcard looking with this smoke, but they're just not finding anything on the map. The information is there. Like, the vision game for Spirit is so good.
Maybe they can try to catch somebody who's going to go through the Twin Gate. Seems like that was the plan for them. But Spirit will not fall for it. So again, losing even more network, losing even more map, because I can see them again push this top tier 2 tower. Yatoro will be able to finish it off.
There it is, tier 2 for Yatoro. Now have more of a net worth lead in thousands than they do have kills. But it's been all Spirit thus far, and now Rue gonna jump after this Disruptor, but TP's in time. Gets all the way back to base. Rue's got that Diffusal Blade, and that's gonna be a big issue for any of these heroes trying to potentially run away, as he could inhibit you and make your life miserable.
Yamsun, BKB ready in 400 gold. Without disassembling his Echo Saber.
Oh, RCY.
Almost a solo kill. Laurel, thinking about it, but this was also with your Arcane Rune, so we'll have that available much sooner. Maybe for the next fight, once Sven picks up a BKB.
Lucky he TP'd out there. He was rolling right into oncoming traffic. Another trap down. Bignum spotted. Rue looking for an opening, but there is a sentry down, so making that jump might not be so great. They've got the glimpse, and now they've got the ice path to potentially turn this. Blink into the call. They've got the instant disruption, but they're going to the Solar. Guardian Fiend's going to come through, trying to get the kill into the axe. Who pops the blade now. Collapse. He's low. He ends up dying, split between the Dire, but they'll lose RCY. They are looking over at Yamsun as they finish off Fade, and he is just dead.
He can't focus them. He did not have BKB. He just got the gold for it, unfortunately. This fight could have been, I would say, much different if he had BKB ready. Aegis did expire. Yatoro managed to blink out of that glimpse, and only losing Axe in this one, but still killing all 3 cores in Wildcard, and now it's a 15,000 lead for Team Spirit. Things are getting out of control.
They've
been getting out of control for the past 23 minutes pretty much in this one.
It feels like it. It does feel like one of those games that is almost destined for Spirit at this point. But it is always one fight away for Sven. Especially now that he's got the BKB, can they make a move near when Roche respawns? That would be the timing for Wildcard to get back in this game.
Looking at there's something else, but there isn't that big item. Both of the cores, they want to get a really big item, very expensive one. Dawnbreaker wants to get Aghanim Scepter, so does Pango. And they're definitely not having gold in the next couple of minutes to buy those items. Sven is fight ready at the moment. Wants to get SNY as his next item, which would give him status resistance against Axe, which would still give him some extra bit of a damage as well. Slow resistance against TA, Jakiro, inhibit Queen of Pain when his BKB is down. But they need one perfect fight. They need to be able to connect with Pango, find the kills with Sven, initiate onto a target, even onto a Blade Mail target now that he does have BKB.
Going Sanjanyasha next. But who can they find to be this opening? Again, they smoke, but who will they'll find? They're gonna. What's really?
I like this move. If they try to,
if it pinches,
yeah. If they're trying to find the backlines, try to grab a kill. But look at the positioning already.
Collapse. Call comes through. Rolling Thunder used. Now the God Strength. They have found
this is big.
Templar Assassin. They have the damage. They get that kill into Yatoro, but the Sonic Wave comes out from Laurel, and they'll get the kill into Yamsun. So that is an equivalent exchange and a dunk on a speed. Oh, Bignum, he is in trouble too. Laurel with the double kill, even without the Templar Assassin. Just the net worth lead is so high that everybody has damage for Spirit.
They also have amplified damage on Queen of Pain in that fight. Sonic Wave connecting onto 2 of them, pushing them back during the BKB. This is something that Sven doesn't like to play. Any kind of repositioning tool during his BKB, especially when BKB is on like 7-6 seconds, where you need to deal the damage during that time, and if you get pushed back by like 3 seconds, maybe a Force Staff comes out, you're not gonna be able to kill the target. Things are very difficult, and I like this build on Laurel. All about tankiness, going for Shiva's Guard, which is gonna give him insane amount of armor, knowing that he's playing against Pango, against Sven. Most of the damage is physical, and now also tanking things up, finishing Kaya Sanj. Things are very difficult. Even though I like the play, the full wraparound, they managed to grab a kill, it's still not enough. It does feel like Sven is dealing most of the damage on their side.
Yeah, and without Sven, there doesn't feel like there's much in terms of damage, like you said, and honestly, he jumps in, he only really has a short window to even get that damage out there. He's had 9 seconds with the BKB. Now he's got 8 seconds to do everything that he needs to do. And that just makes life for him so tough. Blink call on the edge. It connects. And Yamsun popping that BKB, but a Solar Guardian right into an Ice Path and a Culling Blade. No fear here from the side of Team Spirit. They have really left Wildcard silent.
They might need to bail this side. Try to make something happen. RCY does have Rolling Thunder, does have Brigand's Blade. It's a lot of damage, but he also dies. Against Queen of Pain, against Templar Assassin, he doesn't feel too comfortable getting the roll. You could also get the call with Axe. Potentially, it's not easy to execute, but he definitely can, especially now that he does have BKB available, so that makes it much easier. Potentially one fight away from finishing off the game for Spirit. Very clean in this second game.
They're not even in the base. I mean, Yamsun wasn't there. RCY is pushing out the bottom lane. And they're going to TP Rue down bottom. They might be able to catch him by surprise, especially with Collapse coming, but the TP and the Spider Sense is working. RCY gets out of there. Another Roche. Aegis to be taken. No one really here from the side of Wildcard to stop it. Nobody really from Wildcard able to contest this and walk this direction. There isn't much for Wildcard except a one last defensive fight.
Maybe if they can get a pick off here, try to isolate the target. It seems like Collapse knows something is up, immediately blinks out. While the rest of the team already making an aggressive play. Haven't really seen much out of Dawnbreaker. And this is also pre-shard on Ricky. Now that he does have shard, things are going to be even more difficult for him to use the ulti for Shadow Demon to get the save off.
Got the shard on Ricky.
Triple blood grenade on Ricky.
Yeah,
28 minutes in.
The triple blood grenade. And, I mean, it's quite the inventory. Triple blood grenade, yeah. Triple blood grenade, wand, sentry, diffusal,
casual circlet as well,
and smoke in there as well.
Yeah, that's his ability. Smoke.
Okay. Quick on that one.
Let's see. Harpoon is ready, thinking that he needs a bit more maneuverability in a fight instead of that SNY that he was thinking about. Collapse is in a good spot to get the jump.
Thinking about the Rolling Thunder, but there's the God Strength as well as the Storm Hammer. They go to the Sonic Wave. The BKB's going to be popped. Yamsun's got the damage, get the kill, and a Collapse. Static Storm in a great spot, but can they get the damage out there? The Rolling Thunder, they're keeping him up in the air, but now with no BKB, Yamsun's on the run. The right-click damage is there. Yatoro gets the kill, and it all fizzles away for the side of Wildcard as Spirit are right back into it.
It looks good for a couple of seconds. Same thing happened in the previous fight where they feel like, oh, we can kill a target. They kill Yatoro, this time they kill Collapse, but once the BKB is down on Sven, once he starts to get kited, they don't have enough damage.
No, they don't. Hyper Glory team. That's the best team fighting
Hyper Glory
of
team. All
time.
Okay. I thought you were going to say Wings or something.
I couldn't say Wings. Damn it.
Ask him again, Tsunami. If you didn't leave the panel, ask him again.
Give me another shot, please.
Tsunami is gone.
Damn. You're right. I thought of the first team that came to my mind. Ask me again.
I did. I just did. I gave you the answer. Yeah, the team spirit definitely has to be up there. Might be my favorite team when it comes down to team fighting, when they're so far behind, especially if you're sieging the high ground. This is probably the team that is the most difficult to breach the high ground. And looking at both of these drafts, sieging the high ground against Magnus, against Rubik, they do have lift, but they also have very limited amount of damage on side of Wildcard. I've not been feeling their overall last picks. This time it was Magnus. These heroes are not that... Like, you can get somebody skewered back at the rest of your team. Tidehunter's not the guy you want to get. For example, Monkey King doesn't care too much if he gets the Shard Boundless Strike out. Medusa as well, Song of the Siren, very good to disengage. So not the best overall pick. And this Rubik on 9 was also a bit of a... Sorry, on 13 was a bit of a sus for me, where I'm not feeling Rubik overall. Panel did discuss about Rubik not having some of the cheaper spells to steal, which I think could be good, but I also don't really like Rubik as a hero. I feel like Rubik made a little bit of a comeback because Shadow Shaman is the most contested hero in the last couple of months, and this also means that Rubik might see some of the play. And speaking of the matchups as well, this is a very unkillable matchup for Team Spirit. Like, you have Medusa, you have Monkey, you have Tidehunter. These heroes are not going to die.
Yeah,
this is a little bit of a rant from my side. I did not want to ask any questions. What's your favorite team? Or
Energy Pacemaker, I swear. But, you know, we've had this conversation about Rubik kind of a lot.
Yeah, I just hate the hero. Does absolutely nothing in the laning stage. You get Fate Bolt. This time it is slightly better because they have double Fate in the lane, so they will reduce your damage by slightly more.
I guess that's how that works. But I was going to say, we've talked about Rubik a lot because Jakiro's so popular in the meta for a while, and usually Jakiro's in the game, you want Rubik, right? Ice Path feels great, his spells stolen by Rubik feel amazing, but Rubik feels so not amazing, not great, that even with Jakiro being in the meta, you just don't see this hero that much. And even with Shadow Shaman in the meta, like, this hero just doesn't feel like it offers as much as it used to. It's not as flashy anymore. It's not as exciting to watch.
Yeah, definitely not. But looking at this bottom lane, this is the Greek mythology lane. You have Medusa, you have Sirens as well, against Magnetar and Rubik. Not sure how Rubik fits into this lore, but others fit in real nicely.
Is Magnus a mythological creature?
He's a...
I'm checking your homework here.
You're checking my homework?
Yeah.
He is... what is he? He's like unicorn warrior, maybe from Greek mythology. Could be.
I'll trust you.
Yeah, he's a battle rhino.
Battle rhino. Okay. Sure. I'll believe whatever you say to me. I mean...
You owe me $500.
Except that.
No, I always owe you money, because you always bring me stuff from US, because it's much cheaper.
I don't know.
I pay cash, okay?
Gosh. Yeah, some nice comic books. 17-8 for the Monkey King, 15-1 for the Tide. They lead the way for the side of Team Spirit. Some back on this Terrorblade. We saw the Terrorblade not sunder offensively quite often in game number 1.
But this is the way
you have to.
Yeah, you definitely have to. It's not the most... It's not really the greatest against Medusa. It's good against Tide. It's good against Monkey King. As we're seeing in the bottom lane, like, they try to go for a play, maybe the skewer back into the tower with the lift, but they also got to be careful. They also don't deal well with these illusions. Magnus is playing with Eternal Empowerment, doesn't have Empower at the moment.
Nah, just 1-0-1.
securing completely free farm for this Medusa. Yatoro pretty happy to play in this lane. That's why I don't like Rubik. Like, this hero loses you a lot of the matchups as well. Magnus from the offlane also not the strongest hero. You're also playing into super strong lane with Medusa and Naga. They have relatively good setup, and they're setting things up in the bottom lane.
Gorgon's Grasp, Fade getting chased, but be more than okay. Just like you said, free farm right now for Yatoro. It looks like it's free farm in all 3 lanes. The only one who's really keeping up in terms of creep score is Yamsa. Everybody else is struggling. I mean, that mid matchup, the Monkey King against the Puck, it is not going well for RCY.
And this has nothing to do with RCY playing bad or anything. It's just that Monkey King does destroy Puck in this matchup. Another Gorgon's Grasp. Get extra bit of harassment. Oh, look at Rubik go. We caught that on camera for 1 second. It was pretty hype. Rubik using Fate Bolt onto Nagasiren Illusions, lowering the damage. Pretty nice.
Man, so effective. And Zaloro already at that 30 CS mark, 30 and 11. And things will probably stay quiet. Where do you think first blood happens?
Probably bottom lane. Puck is not going to be active. Maybe he gets level 6 and tries to make a rotation to the side lane, try to fix it. His TP's on cooldown for 25 seconds. So that's going to take a while. I don't think Small Tide dies in the top lane. If he gets the Kraken Shell, there's no meta. Actually, there is meta available again. Never mind. Probably bottom lane. I feel like Rubik is going to die.
Okay. We'll see if it...
I'm just a hater, you see. I haven't said anything nice about Rubik in the 7 minutes.
You've just been dunking on Rubik the entire game.
This is coming from the offlaner, somebody who has the lane with Rubik. That's why I hate the hero.
Wow.
There he is.
Rubik.
Look at him being
in
useless.
some trouble. Body blocked a bit from Aposhka, trying to maybe get the neutrals to hit that last shot, but it will be first blood for Laurel on Bignum on that Rubik. I mean, this is the challenge.
It's all about
say one nice
victories.
thing about
if
Rubik.
If Shadowfiend or Anti-Mage Carry could die right now as well, that'd be great. These are the heroes that I hate more than position 4 Rubik.
Just saying, Rubik is 100% win rate.
Out of how many games?
1. So that works.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to be at 50 after this one.
You say that, but you never know.
There's one thing that I hate more than Rubik. That's Rubik with Ether Lens.
Well, don't look at my recent Rubik history. Ice Path down, and now they've got Dream Coil. They tried to skewer him into snapping the coil, but they're still gonna try to get Laurel.
He's trying to get out. He actually gets out for a second.
Laurel?
Wukong's faithful.
It worked. I mean, they didn't snap the coil, and he was able to just leave.
It's the changing of the guard. They changed the name, but manages to get out. That was such a nice play from him.
This was over before it started.
That feels really bad. There were 4 heroes there for Wildcard. Ooh, boy.
It could have been worse if he stole the XP rune somehow.
Yeah, I guess it could have been worse. For you, it could have been worse if Rubik got the kill.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Fade. God. Really hate this hero. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yatoro snipes him with the snake.
Snipes him with the snake, yeah. Oh boy. Medusa just with that level 3 Mystic Snake, making sure that Magnus comes back to lane a little bit later.
Yeah, mistakes were made in this lane. He does die. The bounce got him. I don't think he was expecting it.
Yeah, I don't know. He was a little bit far from the creep wave. Probably wasn't expecting it. Some stacks to take. You know, Laurel is 2 levels behind RCY. RCY has recovered well.
Definitely did. I mean, he did make a rotation, even though he got first blood, spent some time near the enemy XP shrine. Didn't get it. Had to TP back or walk back. Not sure what happened there. So quite a lot of time wasted. But in terms of CS, he did manage to recover as well. Not just in terms of levels.
Waiting to see what Rubik can do when it comes to getting level 6. Balance strike off the mark. Not sure it'll really matter. But speed is locked in here and killed off by Laurel, who will then jump up to level 7. But an easy kill nonetheless with 2 supports in the area. Just I'm keeping a watch. Bignum taking the farm bottom. He's working on 6. He's working on being a hero.
Just wondering what he steals in this game. This Rubik actually got countered. I think the best spell you can steal is Deadshot.
Wukong's with the skewer out of the circle, but the body blocks from Aposhka are perfect. And that means Jingu will go off and Fade will end up dead to Laurel as he's got yet another kill now, 3-0 for this Monkey King.
Very difficult game for Wildcard. Like, this draft doesn't really play itself. 2 supports don't play really well with Puck either. You have... Alright, this is the only thing probably that I'm gonna say that is good again with Rubik in this game. That he can snap the coil. That's it.
That's it. Just very...
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else.
Nothing. Not one
Nothing.
thing.
Nada. Zero.
Oh. Not even if he steals Ravage.
He has some big spells to steal in this game. Ravage, Song, maybe Stone Gaze. Wukong's command could be okay-ish. Ravage is probably the biggest one. But we'll see if that happens.
Okay.
Considering what he's playing into, there is good amount of control. Him getting close to the fight, he's gonna be like, well, you know what? I probably need Aetherland, so fucks up the item build as well. Spends more than 2,000 gold on a useless item because he needs to keep the range so he doesn't get clipped by Medusa ulti or Ravage. Still dies. It's just how it goes. I've seen this bazillion times.
Yeah, you say it with such conviction, too. I've seen it a billion times. Very, I'm keeping a watch on the items. Right now, it's just Arcane Boots.
This is fine. You need... There's a lot of physical. I think it's a good Solar Crest game for Rubik, or just Pavis. If you're going Pavis, I think it's better to... something that Snaking would do probably in this game if he played Rubik would go Pavis without getting mana boost because the components would still give you mana and you're not spamming any spells. For now, he has Mystic Snake, which I did forget about. So this is actually a good spell to steal. It does allow you to get good amount of farm.
Mm-hmm.
This and Deadshot are going to be the cheap spells that you are going to try to steal.
Looks potentially pretty good, and now just trying to stack there.
If you're asking why this idiot is talking about Rubik for the past 12 minutes, because not much is happening in this game. We have 4 kills, Wildcard still yet to get a kill.
RCY, he should be fine. Even Dream Coils commits to that Macro Pyre, and the Ice Path will leave the circle, and that's actually now Laurel able to look for the Balance Strike into the Ravage, and RCY.
Even with haste, he's gonna die. Look at Rubik stealing Gush. Might just die here.
Get the Ravage, and now Telekinesis throws him onto the Tidehunter, throws a Fade Bolt at level 3, and unfortunately still Gush. Had a chance to steal Ravage. Now Fade's in trouble too. Balance Strike that way, reeling him in, and steals Balance Strike. That's not bad. Not bad.
It's okay. It's more just a stun rather than dealing the damage with the spell. Team Spirit bringing in numbers, Collapse joins the fight, has Vlad's, which is going to result in them getting the tower. Laurel, he was not messing around. At one point of the game, he did have BKB as his first item, but decided to go for Mage Slayer, which is not the greatest item for Mage Slayer. It's more against Puck, against Rubik, and the other support, Jakiro. Magnus doesn't deal that much magical, neither does TB, but it's more about survivability.
See how much they can survive, because it's already a 5,000 net worth lead. Like, this is only 5-0, and you can see how well Spirit are farming the map. It's really up to this point been a bit of a tough game. They are kind of relying on Yamsun to have big impact with this Terrorblade at some point. He's 1,400 gold behind that Medusa.
Did you see what Rubik just did?
Fade bolted some neutrals?
Yeah, nothing. That was it.
Nothing. Okay.
Oh, the double boundless. This game is very slow. It needs to be Puck with the Blink Dagger, but RCY has been shut down. Magnus also going for one item before going into a Blink Dagger. So on their side, they want to play this game slowly, but this also means that Team Spirit, they are more than fine taking this game to the mid and late game if necessary. Yatoro, he has insane amount of farm. Over 9,000, 14 minutes in.
They'll go for Fade now. Wukong's ensnare, the silence, and the kill. A lot of circles there with the calling and the Wukongs.
Their team fight is too strong. Even though the other team does have good amount of team fight with Magnus, Puck, overall, fighting into the team fight from Team Spirit is a bit overwhelming because they have counter initiation in multiple heroes. You drop down that Wukongs, drop down another circle, as you said, either Ravage, maybe even just silence from Huerta is going to do the trick. Look at Rubik go.
Oh,
Go to the graveyard. Yeah, he's done.
he is going to be very dead, and it's now an 8-0 lead for Team Spirit. Okay. If it was the last time you were ever going to see Rubik ever, what was one nice thing you'd say to this hero?
The last time this hero was good when Yapsor played it. That's how bad the hero was for the last like 6 years or something.
6 years? Damn. I don't know if I've ever heard a hero hated
Skyrat
so much.
Mage. Skyrat Mage has the same treatment. He has fake buffs that he's receiving. This might be the kill. Collapse.
Stole Anchor Smash, so that
Kraken
is
Shell.
something.
He did pop it. Ravage is ready.
But he's silenced. He's chased. The Boundless Strike, Collapse still running. Still has Ravage available, but nobody really there to help out if you were to use it. They get their first kill on the board, put it on the board for Wildcard.
Rubik involved in 100% of the kills.
That's positive. I'll take it.
They needed to bring the whole squad. He was thinking about using the Ravage, but the rest of the team was not ready to back him up.
He's still not buying Aetherlens, so you could be happy about
all
that.
good, yeah. Anything else? If you buy Aetherlens, actually griefing on the hero.
Currently, 4 staff is the idea. Speed getting reeled in. The calling is there. The dead shot. And he'll end up stealing dead shot. This could be good to have. Yamsun's courier with that Manta-style recipe also dying. It's a bit tough. Haven't really seen the Terrorblade too much. But at the same time, Yatoro's just been continuing to farm, and he has got almost 13,000 net worth. Ravage connecting, and there's the double for the side of Spirit. You looked my way as Rubik died.
Yeah, Yatoro is also going for anti-Terrorblade build, going for Aghanim Scepter with the combination of Maelstrom / Mjolnir, which is basically her old level 25 talent, which does apply all the effects from the split shot. And because you're playing against Terrorblade, you want to have that magic damage instead of going for physical damage.
$10,000 net worth lead, man, this early into the game. I mean, this was a decent start for RCY. I mean, it even was a decent start for Yamsun, but they are already so far behind and having to make a comeback.
For every kill Team Spirit gets, they get 1k gold lead, which is pretty nice. My OCD is pretty happy about this one. See, 1-1, 1-1. A
lot of ones. A lot of ones. But what can Wildcard do? What do the numbers mean, Lacoste? What do the ones say to us?
that there's only one shitty hero in this game, and that is Rubik. That's the one. It's a very difficult game for Wildcard. Like, they need to get something done right now, otherwise they're gonna lose Roshan, they're gonna lose Tormentor in the next minute or so.
Good skewer on the two.
There's no mana on Yamsen. Does have 21 charges. Poshka's dead.
They already got Miposhka. Gorgon's
Stone Gaze has been stolen.
He had the Stone Gaze. Collapse is going to die.
Bad.
Yamsen with a double kill, thinking about the Wukongs, but instead they'll retreat. Fade blinks in. He still has RP. Can they find Yatoro? He can't stop for that twin
They're
game,
still
but
going to
he
take
can't
this
stop
fight.
for this Wukongs. They thought about the RP, but never needed because, well, he couldn't use it. He was dead. Rue.
Dead shot stolen.
Ice path, dead shot off the
silence.
mark. And now they've got the calling to get the kill into the Rubik. Balance strike lands, and that will hit the Jakiro. A triple kill for Laurel. After losing 2 heroes to start this fight, Spirit salvage and get themselves 3.
3v5, they still killed 3 heroes. That's how far ahead they are.
They still have an 11-kill lead and an 11,000 net worth lead.
Tormentor's about to spawn.
Perfect timing. This is a good skewer to start. Initially, really well placed by Fade. And they got Miposhka, and they get this Tidehunter very early. Stolen Stone Gaze doesn't do a huge amount.
Yeah, he stole that Stone Gaze, but didn't really do much. And I like how Team Spirit disengaged onto the high ground, knowing that Yatoro can't really die immediately. And then look at Laurel. Immediately into the Wukongs, into the Boundless, and they have another one ready. They got baited pretty heavily here, thinking that they can take this fight, but positioning from Team Spirit was top tier. Rue running into the trees immediately. Yatoro falling back down further to the south. And now silenced again if necessary. Muerta has been, I think, a bit of a forgotten as a hero ever since we swapped the level 20 and 25 talent, which was a massive deal. In the games, as a position 4, a lot of the times you will see hero get level 20, but hitting level 25, there's a massive difference. Like, this is extra 10, 15, sometimes even 20 minutes we're talking about.
Yeah, especially when you're in the support position. It's rare that
especially in a losing game. You're never getting that milestone.
Yeah. And it just feels like there are a lot of stronger supports at the moment, but still offers a lot. Deadshot on the calling is still 2 very strong spells. Stronger than Fade Bolt and Telekinesis.
Right now, he basically has 1 spell. That's Fade Bolt. Level 1 Telekinesis is really not much. And speaking of that, let's see. There it is.
Huh? Got away? It worked.
Even without popping the essence rings, he still lives.
So survivability for the Rubik. Not half bad. Not half bad. Roche available if Spirit elect to go for it, but they continue to farm the map and continue to extend this net worth lead. And they're happy with everything they're getting out of the map up to this point. You need to wonder, does Spirit really need to even push the envelope? They're farming so efficiently. This feels like it's go time at their ready, not really when Wildcard want to fight. It's all been so perfect up to this point for the side of Team Spirit. Now, they will find this Terrorblade, who will get the Sunder off, but he is all alone, and now Laurel is beyond godlike. What do you do? Terrorblade found alone. Nothing he could really do to survive in that situation, with nobody really even able to find a spot to teleport to.
So that's going to be Roshan for free, and Laurel is already setting things up on a different side of the map. Even with 1 TP, he's gonna be fine. Let's say Tidehunter TP's in, gives him the Glimmer Cape, gives him Ravage. He should be okay. Collapse, definitely looking at the top lane.
No reason not to. They've got the Wukongs again. Laurel is in. Kills off Speed. And the dead shot connects. Bignum now going to be chased. He is in trouble, but the calling is there. They'll get the kill. They'll take it a double kill. Laurel just absolutely
they're
dominating.
ready for Yamsen immediately.
And he'll use that meta and get the kill into Baposhka.
Big
Start
chunk
to
of gold.
retreat, though.
They thought they had him. But the rest of the team, everybody was on the top already. Without committing too much. Wukong's command, no BKB used.
Could have been a moment there, though. If they had committed, I don't know if the Terrorblade gets them in time for Monkey King to maybe even go through the Twin Gate and get there if Medusa had lost the first life. But they backed up. They don't have to play it too aggressively. There's no reason to. And now you hold on to this Aegis and you still have a 15,000 net worth lead. 88%.
I'd say 12% is pretty generous. I think it comes from Magnus. I think coming from Magnus, seeing that this hero can win the game off of a good skewer. But again, these targets are not easily killed. They are definitely lacking the damage. Monkey.
RP. Monkey King skewered out, snapping the coil.
17
Laurel, though,
sticks.
BKB, and throws that Wukong's out. Which means he's able to survive again.
Super tanky. Has Poor Man's Shield, blocking some of that damage, and also having magic resistance from Mystical Enchantment, plus having the Mage Slayer, which actually makes him live through that. They need some physical damage. They need TB to be ready there. Maybe slowing down with the Scotty. He doesn't get extra bit of a lifesteal if necessary. And I like what TB's going for. He is going for Diffusal / Disperser, seeing that Medusa doesn't have Butterfly, so he doesn't have to build into MKB right now. And it's also very good to disengage a fight.
It's the second time, by the way, that Monkey King has gotten away from a fight like that where it seems like he's dead to rights. And in a position like that, I mean, that's how it all kind of spiraled out of control, right? That first fight by the 7-minute Wisdom Shrine, he survives, he uses that changing of the guard, and it's gone really haywire from there. Because ultimately, this is not a big
Bottom.
Amazon,
Yeah, that's it. Look at him go.
Oh, well.
Seems like they are ready to go for the high ground. Wukong's command is ready in 15. Same goes for his BKB. They can let Medusa siege. Yatoro, with this type of a build, you don't have the most damage. This is not Butterfly Daedalus, so you don't have as much right-click, but you're still dealing good amount of damage to the buildings. Seems like Collapse is going to be taking over that role for now.
They can just siege. We'll see if there's any defense coming out from Wildcard. How do you kill Yatoro? How do you kill him twice? Skewer him under the tier 4 towers, but he's got so much damage. Doesn't really care. And the Dream Coil on it too. But Collapse is low and not dead. And that is the problem. Yatoro, Ice Path, no mana. Maybe they can burn him out, and they've got the Skewer, but the Ravage comes in. They'll get the
ready to go in.
Out Fade. Down goes Speed. The buyback from 1. The Wukong's is used. Laurel with the BKB. Nullifies out of the Terrorblade. Stone Gaze, the right clicks, and Yamsun needs a target to Sunder, but he can't find one just yet.
They want to Sunder Medusa.
Skewer again. They look for the song, and that'll connect. Big problems here.
If they get a silence, if they get a silence on him.
Sunder bounce strike. Oh, no. Yamsun is dead. He's got buyback, but everybody's dying on the side of Wildcard. And that'll be a full wipe with the buyback used by Rubik, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter at all.
Yeah, this seems to be pretty over. They have buyback available on TB, but there is no Magnus, there is no Puck. Puck has buy available, but no coil for 15 seconds. They potentially have one more fight, 5v5, but it's going to be very difficult. You can see that they almost managed to Sunder Medusa, which could have been okay-ish. Her sitting at 2,000 HP, who had gotten a good amount of HP back, but again, Sunder is not the most effective against Medusa, especially if she has full mana.
Right. terribly, just not even buying back. Doesn't even care to buy back. They lose that bottom set of racks. Where is the victory potential here for Wildcard? It is not looking likely, down 30,000 net worth. They don't really have to leave, but if they want to play it safe in a game 3, they certainly can. No RP available at the moment. Ravage is down. But 25-4, 30 minutes in, and it is all Spirit here in game number 3.
All the green lights are resetting in 30 seconds for Team Spirit. Ravage about to be ready. Song of the Siren as well. They're ready to close it out. Wildcard, they have one extra fight. They need some big RPs, they need some big skewer backs, potentially even a big Sunder on a target to try to get this Tidehunter or Monkey King sundered when he's on low HP, but that's a lot of things that need to align perfectly for them to win this one.
Now the stars have to align for Wildcard. Hag's gushing, and look at where Laurel is. He is looking maybe for an opportunity. Now, Yatoro's just not nearby. He doesn't need to be nearby. Just hold 28,000 net worth under his belt, but for now, he is just back and farming while Laurel is looking near the tier 3 tower to make a jump, but now will back off into the neutral camp to continue to farm up.
Seems like he made a call to farm up his next item, get the full Bloodthorn, just to have extra bit of a silence, extra bit of a damage. While the rest of the team, they are getting initiated on. Rue, that's a good pickoff. Any kind of a kill they can get. Bignum could actually get sniped, solo sniped by Laurel. So you're telling me that there is a chance, huh?
A little bit of a chance. There's a 1%. Still, all right. 4 staffed out of the Wukong, still a 1% chance. And now Laurel on the run, but Bignum, can he?
They should fight on the trees. Yeah. Oh, he got him.
For now, just keeping eyes on him. Ooh, 4 staff, Boundless Strike going the other way. He's cornered himself, but Bignum's gonna die anyway. Song TP out. Medusa's coming through the Twin Gate. This is a problem. They've got Ravage when needed. Collapse gonna walk forward. He is ready at any moment. Might want to stop hitting the Tormentor at the same time, but they are gonna find RCY. They've got that anchor, as well as that Stone Gaze used. Yatoro doesn't have a lot of mana here, but he's got more than enough to feel at least
Collapse
a bit comfortable.
is running in. He wants the Ravage.
Yeah, he wants this Ravage. They'll get the kill on RCY. They'll look over at Yamsun, who needs to find himself a Sunder target. Can't find one. That's 3 heroes dead. GG is called, and Spirit took the series 2-1.
Good showing from Wildcard in game number 1. Game 2 and 3 were pretty much one-sided, especially game 3, where Team Spirit rolled them over. This type of a draft, very difficult to execute.